places. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. Places. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down.
What's going on, everyone? It's my back again, and yeah, look, I appreciate I haven't been doing loads of content lately, and there's been a few reasons behind it. Some personal, some just busy, some about making the right content. You know, we've all been sitting there at times a bit disillusioned by Everton this season, and I almost haven't wanted to rub it in. You know, I made a few videos earlier on, I think probably January, February time, really digging out the board. And I think as fans, we've done literally all we can to prove that we are the most important people at Everton Football Club. It's not the players, the managers, the board of directors. It's us as fans. And we've proven that over certainly the last few home games. We've proven how important we are to this team and how important we are to this board. So they need to start showing us some respect, because Mr. Mashiri's investment, Mr. Kenwright's ownership or chairmanship, Denise's role, board of directors, all of that doesn't really matter if Everton fail to be in the Premier League, because they will be looked at negatively. You know, they went from believing that these were these fantastic board and people aspire to be ran like Everton, which is complete shit. So what I decided to do today was I would look at the remaining fixtures of Everton, Leeds and Burnley and work out roughly who I think is going to be relegated from the Premier League, on what points total, and what I roughly expect the scores to be. Because I think it's really important that we sort of have a bit of a picture of what we need to achieve. So, here we are. Here we are indeed. And we're going to start with Burnley. So, Burnley, let's be honest, they've done really well. In terms of the league table, they've done really well. They've dug themselves out of it. They're currently on 34 points. Now, this was a team that, I think 8 weeks ago, only had 2 wins. They've now got 5 after picking 3 up on the bounce. So they've done incredibly well. And they currently sit a game in front of us on 34. We have 33. Minus 15 goal difference on 34 points. So let's go into their fixtures. Burnley's fixtures aren't easy. So, they start this weekend at home to Aston Villa. A game that, having given Villa's recent form, which hasn't been great, it's been a little bit ropey. They've fallen down the league a little bit. They got a win against Norwich at home. They played okay. They weren't brilliant. They ended up making it 2-0 and making it look fairly comfortable. But Norwich did have moments in that game. Burnley will be, they'll be up for it. You know, they've just come off the back of a 2-1 win in a tough game at Watford. And, you know, they scored 2 goals in 10 minutes to win the game, which is a similar story to what they did against us, really. So, you know, Burnley will fancy their chances. I just think they might have run out of steam, and I actually think this game will be a draw. So I think it'll be 1-1. But that gives them 1 point. And this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be going through their fixtures and working them out. So that will give them 1 point. They then go away to Spurs. And I don't think Burnley get anything at Spurs. I don't. And that's just because I'm not saying Burnley aren't capable of it. And I'm certainly not saying Spurs can't do a Spurs. We've seen it. We've seen teams go to Spurs and win Brighton. I think Southampton did it as well. Teams can go to Spurs and get at them. I just don't think Burnley will. So I don't think they will beat Spurs. They're then away at Aston Villa, and they're based on Aston Villa, their home form. I think it'll be a draw. So I'm giving them another point. Probably a 2-2, something like that. And they finished the last game of the season at home to Newcastle, which I expect them to win. So I expect Burnley to pick up 5 points, which will put them on 39 points. Now, you'd argue in most seasons that would keep them up. But it'll be interesting to see what I work out Everton's to be, and equally Leeds. Let's go into Leeds first. So, Leeds, they're away at Arsenal. They won't beat Arsenal. They won't. So, nothing. They're at home to Chelsea. Now, if they set up to stop the press of Chelsea, let them have the ball, but not leave too many gaps in behind. You know, if they set up the way that Everton did, they can get a result in that game. But Leeds won't. Leeds won't. It's like this whole Bielsa mentality. It's like Jesse Marsh has got it and he's just mixing it up a little bit. I don't think they'll do it, and I think they'll leave themselves far too exposed and concede goals like they always do. I think they'll lose. So, the next 2 games, Leeds don't get a point. They then play Brighton at home. And I think if Leeds have to beat Brighton, I think they will. But it'll be really, really difficult for them. So, I'm giving them 3 points. But it wouldn't surprise me if they got a draw in that game. But I'm giving them 3 points. They're then away at Brentford. And I don't think that the Brentford boss will want to leave after a fantastic season they've had. You know, they were very much a lot of people's favourites to go down. And they've been, from the start of this season, beating Arsenal in the first game to the last game of the season, they've been great. And I just think Brentford will have too much for them. So I'm saying Leeds will only pick up 3 points in the next 4 games. And I suspect some Leeds fans would even tell me that might be slightly optimistic. You've then got Everton. And remember, we've got a game in hand, but we are 2 points behind these teams. Leicester away. Tough game. And if I'm being brutally honest, I think the best we can hope for is a point. And it wouldn't surprise me if we lost, because our away form's poor. But I'm giving us a point. We then go to Watford. We have to win that game. We have to. So there is literally no point me sitting here saying we're going to get 3 points, we're going to get 1 point. I think we are more than capable of going to Watford and winning. So I'm saying we win that game. I think we beat Brentford at home. We've already done it once this season in the FA Cup, when literally Lampard had only been in the club 2 days, 3 days. I think we beat Brentford. So that gives us 7 points. We then play Palace. I think we beat Palace. Worst case scenario, we get a point. So we're either on 6. So we're either on, 6 or 8. We get nothing at Arsenal. We get nothing. So based on my thought process, we finish on 40 points. Burnley finished on 38. Leeds finished on 37 and go down. And that is my prediction. Now, I have said, to caveat this video, I have said the whole time that Everton needed to beat Wolves to stay up at Goodison. I said that week was critical. We needed 6 points. And I stand by that. So I can happily be proved wrong or right on this list. We may go to Leicester and get 3 points. We may lose. We may go to Watford and get turned over because our away form's so poor. I still think, even if we only pick up 6 more points, I still think we finish above Leeds. And my prediction is that it will be Leeds that follow Norwich and Watford down into the Championship. And that's my prediction. You know, my predictions at the start of the season, I thought Leeds could struggle then. I remember having a conversation with Connor, obviously, great friend of the show, great friend of mine. I thought they'd struggle then. I really did. And they've conceded a lot of goals. And I just don't think they're... I think they're missing something. I don't know what it is. They've had a lot of injuries this season, as of we. You know, I don't make excuses for any of that. But your squad is your squad. Whether it's thin, whether it's fat, whether good quality, bad quality, your squad is your squad. But they seem to struggle with injuries to key players at certain times. You know, Stuart Dallas had a leg break. I think Cooper's back out. You know, these are players that you'd argue would be on the team sheet every week for Leeds. And they can't be in the team. And I just think with the fact that they've got a small squad, they can't rotate really particularly well. Bielsa had this mentality to keep them as a tight-knit group. I think that's going to cost them. And I don't think any disservice can really be put on Jesse Marsch. I think it's on Bielsa, and Leeds fans won't like me saying that, but it is. It's on Bielsa and it's on the board. Everton could equally go down. You know, I'm not sitting here thinking we're not. I'm not sitting here happy about the situation we are in. At this moment in time, albeit we've got a game in hand, we are 18th in the Premier League and would be playing Championship football next season. So, you know, we're all just predicting the future, but based on where we are, based on Leeds, based on the run, based on what Burnley have achieved over the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I think Leeds are going down. You know, Everton have managed to beat United, draw with Leicester, a decent performance against Liverpool, and to beat Chelsea. I just think Everton, touch wood, have turned a corner. You know, everyone I spoke to today, I've got a few friends who are Villa fans. You know, they're all saying, oh yeah, you'll stay up, you'll stay up. Leeds will go down. Everyone's convinced Leeds are going to go down. I'm not as convinced, but I do think it's tough for them, because all of the games they've got, they could lose. Equally, so could we, and equally, so could Burnley, but I just feel like Burnley have found their feet a little bit. They've got this. They've got something. They've just found something. I feel like Everton might have found something, and I feel like Leeds have lost it. Like, I feel like Leeds have lost something, and I don't know what it is, but I think it could cost them. So that's my prediction for the league. Let's get back into that fantastic game of football on Sunday when, you know, Charleston steps up at a moment, gives us a goal. Damari Gray battles Alex Iwobi. Alex Iwobinho. Sensational performance. The hard work defensively, carrying the ball forward, neat and tidy, little flicks, little touches here, there and everywhere. No real major mistakes. Decent touch. I can't give him disservice for that. So good performance by Iwobi, and Mina coming into the side looking much more resolute than he was against Leicester. He looked ropey at Leicester, but he looked solid. He looked solid against a difficult Chelsea side that caused you problems. Havertz was crying. Havertz was crying after 20 minutes. Holgate did a great job. Pickford was sensational, proved exactly why he was number one. And you know, Everton will go into the next games with a bit of confidence, and I'm not expecting us to go into this Leicester game and get 3 points. I think it's tough. They've got a tough game midweek. They might be a little bit deflated if they don't get a result. If they do get a result, they'll probably want to start looking at resting players, because, you know, that's big for Leicester. Big, you know, they won the FA Cup at the start of the season, and they could be about to be going to a European final. I mean, they might not have had a brilliant season in the Premier League to their standards, but where they are is a million miles away from where they was 8 years ago, 7 years ago, when they almost got relegated. They are a different team, and you can only credit them that. Everton have got to go there and just be tight. You know, shut up shop. Just don't let them break you down. If we go there and we shithouse our way to a point, so be it. So be it. I don't care less, because that point at the end of the season could be vital. It could be vital. So, yeah, it's a massive game, really, because if Everton can get a result in it, can get 3 points, I think Everton, we can start looking a little bit. We can start thinking we might get out of this. At the minute, I think it's too early, and I think, albeit I've done this video and I've predicted we stay up, and we actually don't finish 17th, I predict we finish 16th. I just think, or any of us could go down. Whereas if you go away to a Leicester and you get a result, and you then go and get a result at Watford, I just think you've got that little bit of fire in the belly. And look, I think if Everton gets 6 points out of their next 2 games to stay up, because I think we pick up 2 points at home. Whether there be 2 draws or 1 win and we lose, it doesn't matter. I think we stay up. I think it's going to be a tough game, but we've just got to work out how to do it. And setting up like we did against Chelsea, as hard as it is at times to watch, as stressful as it is, that could really work against Leicester. Let them have the ball. Just don't let them come through you. And yeah, you've got to have a bit of hope. A bit of confidence. Jordan Pickford seemed in inspired form. Hopefully he can keep that up. Hopefully it doesn't go to his head, because that has happened before with Jordan in the past. So let's hope that doesn't happen. And we go again. There was an incident as well with a smoke. They're called smoke flares. What are they called? Whatever. Gets thrown onto the pitch, and Richarlison picks it up and throws it. The narrative is that he threw it back into the crowd. I'm obviously going to support my boy and my club, and I'm going to say that he tried to throw it out the ground. That is where the corner is. He tried to get it off the pitch. He threw it. It hit a brick wall, nowhere near anyone. A concrete wall, nowhere near anyone. He did the right thing, in my opinion, getting it off the field of play. And he should be congratulated rather than condemned, in my opinion. That's just my take on it. But yeah, it was a big game, and it was a big game for Frank, big game for Lampard. He's shown over the last few weeks that he can be tactically astute. You know, he can mix it up. He can get Everton playing with a high press on the front foot, very aggressive, like we did against Leeds, like we did against Brentford. Or he can sit back, and teams have got to try and break us down. And he's shown that he's capable of doing that with this group of players, which, let's be honest, isn't very good. So, if we can stay in the Premier League, maybe it could be a better season next season. Maybe we can push on. All we want to do, in my opinion, next season is be aiming for mid-table, because we don't want to be in this position again, but we're nowhere near Europe. So let's not kid ourselves. Let's just be realistic. And I'll take that. Like, I literally would take that now. So we just need to stay in the Premier League. That be all and end all. That's what we need to stay in the Premier League. Any other news? Nothing major. There's nothing major going on. We've got 5 cup finals ahead. In my opinion, we need to get 8 points. That's simple. Guys, I'll leave you there. Keep smiling.